Welcome to Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. I am Gat, your host. Now, the user on the left, the viewer on the left, asks for Twin Flames Natal Charts analysis, and we will be comparing it to the user on the right. Alrighty. Now, the user on the left, we've done before. So, we're going to kind of do a refresher, and then we're going into the user on the right, and we'll see. All right, so the user on the left, again, ascendant is in at 22 degrees. The ascendant is in the 12th house. And again, that usually means they have some finished business from a past life. So that, like I said before, this person is going to be on like two time frames in their life. Because they've got the ascendant and the 12th house. They're trying to make that into the first house. But the first house is still going to be the east point. Ascendant is where the sun went over the horizon when they were born. The east point, EP, is when the sun went over the ecliptic when they were born. So even though this person is the first house is going to be a personality, it's going to be Capricorn, but that ascendant, because a lot of astrologers count the ascendant as the first house, even if it's in the 12th house, like this one. So they're still going to have that Sagittarius energy. So that's why I say this person, when they're checking their charts and things like that, or checking their horoscope, they can do that. Their rising sign is definitely the ascendant as Sagittarius, but they're still going to have that Capricornian. And this is going to be somewhat of a mature person, believe it or not, because Capricorn is like an old soul, going to be mature. And Sagittarius, like in a twin flames relationship, you want that ninth house Sagittarius energy. Sagittarius rules the ninth house. And also because she has Sagittarius in the 12th house, when Jupiter's in the 12th house, that means she's going to have that guardian angel of good fortune, that as long as she's serving, as the 12th house says, serve others, that she'll see that. And she even has good fortune in the 12th house. So she can't go wrong, because that Jupiter is going to connect with that Sagittarius. And as long as she is a servant helping others, she will always have money. Even if money's gone, money will somehow miraculously come back because of that Jupiter Sagittarius connection. But she has to remember that even though you're in the 12th house helping people, don't help them so much that you burn yourself out, because that is also the house of martyrdom as well. So in her 12th house, she wants to use her Sagittarius, because Sagittarius is always seeking truth, but Sagittarius rules the ninth house, higher courts, long distance, in-laws, a lot of culture and class, philosophy, religion. These things are all going on in her ninth house, but they're going to, for some reason, they're brought to the 12th house for a type of ending. And to know more about that, you will look at her ninth house, which we can do kind of quick just to get a little sum up. 12, 11, 10, 9. So you have Virgo there with Chiron. So you're going to be dealing with the 6th house as well to deal with her 12th house. And that's how it usually is. The 12th house is always opposite the 6th house. So we say 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. And in her 7th house, you have Gemini, which again is the twins. So they're doing the 6, 9, 12. Because like I said, that Gemini energy is kind of immature energy. It's short. Anything in Gemini rules the 3rd house. It's going to be short travel. It's going to be very creative, but just short. They don't want to know your whole story. Okay, how are you? Please just say fine, so I can say, oh, that's good, and keep it moving. Or if somebody's sick, I'll donate some money, but I don't need to know all the circumstances. I'm Gemini. So Gemini, Sagittarius, and Aquarius are good for not wanting to go too deep, and they want their independence. Even if they're in a relationship, they don't want to feel boxed in, because if they feel boxed in, they're going to want to make distance. So that's why they take Gemini and put Gemini in the 6th house of Virgo to heal that immaturity, because you can't have a long-term relationship if you don't want to deal with the longness. You just can't. You can't tell somebody, yeah, I really want to be with you, but listen, nah, don't call me on time, and you know I'm going to see you later on this week, so you don't have to call me on Wednesday if you know I'm going to see you on Friday. And that type of mentality, nobody really wants to hear that. Usually, if they want to pick up the phone, they want you to just receive them. They don't want you pushing them out like, hey, I'm busy right now. I got other stuff I'm trying, Or you come to see me, but you don't stay. And these are things like Gemini. Like when you see Gemini in the 10th house, this is a person that has part-time work or they go from job to job. So that's what's going on with those, particularly 3 houses. We may look at them again, but now let's go to the first house. Now, again, this is another person who, even though they got Capricorn there, Neptune causes dreams to occur. Now, Neptune also is going to try to break through the wall-like ways of Capricorn, and Uranus is going to help. Now, sometimes that'll be this person, but you see that 22 at the ascendant and see that 22 at Uranus. See, I believe that might be that person's twin, because sometimes your twin helps you break through where you're going to get stuck in this life. Because, like, ideally, that's what you guys are supposed to do. We're here for each other. Let's find out why we're here for each other, and let's work through like we're supposed to. But what happens in third dimension, you've been hurt before, you don't want to be hurt. Depending on when your twin comes, your twin might be years younger than you. You got all kind of stuff going on, a lot of fears and just a lot of anger. I'm not going to take it anymore. And that's usually this crazy universe we're in. I got to be honest. This crazy universe, that's when they're going to send your person. At the moment you say, hey, listen, I want to be single, I'm sick of dealing with women, that's when your twin's going to pop up. Ready for some type of meeting. And even then, it's still going into separation. So even if you say, oh, I can tell by your eyes you're different, I really want to be with you too, I changed my mind, I want to be with a female, you're still going to go into some crazy separation with your twin flame. So that's the universe we deal with Murphy's Law. And everything has an exception, because there are some twin flames that get along perfectly. And you can tell they're twins, they look alike, act alike, they love each other. But a lot of twins go through a lot of separation, a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, because you're dealing with past lives, you're dealing with karma and all kind of stuff. So in this first house, Capricorn may have some issues, especially look right across. Mars going right across the Capricorn and Cancer. So this is like Capricorn work, Cancer family, and then Mars. But it looks like it's going to be a shakeup. Because remember, the first house is ruled by Aries. Mars rules Aries. And then you got a Uranus. So this person can really, this person has this person has a potential to just really really like blow possibly in a career, reputation, status in the first house, because that's what Cancer is, and also that's what Capricorn is, and even in the family house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that family is in the 8th house, making it a soul family. And then you have Vesta right there. So this is going to be, and remember, Vesta in the 8th house. Well, Vesta in the family can be the priestess. But Vesta in the 8th house could be, because Vesta could be a freak, a sexual freak. And it's still sex. It's still sex, which for her, spiritual refreshment is having sex for the sexual priestess. And then whenever you see Mars, because even though Mars is really going into the, well, either way, Mars at that 0 point is really in both those houses, if you want to be honest. But you have to be careful, because whenever you see Mars with Leo, because Leo deals with children, and whenever you see Mars with Cancer, that's the family deals with children, you have to be careful of abuse. So this is very explosive. Very explosive. But nonetheless, Uranus and Neptune are shaking up the Capricorn personality in the first house to take the idealism and make it manifest into the material world. So I always say this is because this is what they say on the internet. When you see Uranus and Neptune in Capricorn, because Uranus doesn't like Capricorn, because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn and Uranus, Saturn and Capricorn are about standards and rules and status quo and doing it this way. Well, Uranus ain't trying to hear that. So what happens is Uranus helps Neptune overthrow that Capricorn rules and regulations, and then they set up the idealism of Neptune. That's like overthrowing a wall, overthrowing communism, and next thing you know, you got McDonald's. And now people in communist Russia are acting like Americans. So who came up with that idea? Who came up with that idea to sell McDonald's in Russia, communist Russia? But that really happened. It's because that was a Uranus-Neptune overthrow of the wall. So this person has that diametric ability, that dynamic persona. Second house, Aquarius. Again, a person who has no problem getting money and then using it to help the community of people or help social causes. Third house, Saturn retrograde, is Pisces. So this person, again, may be some type of spiritual talker, spiritual teacher. Could be a Sunday school teacher. But they're inspirational. And remember, the third house is going to connect to the 12th house. Why? Because they're trying to make that energy go Sagittarius. See, the 12th house is the house of rendering and endings. So by the time we get to the 12th house, they're hoping that this person has overcome any immaturity they may have that would stop them from being in a long-term relationship. So even Pisces in the third house could be a person who actually does creative stuff for a spirituality, inspiration. They could be artists of some type, poetry. And then Saturn retrograde doesn't like to be held back. They may actually stand up to authority. They feel like they're being abused by authority. Now, fourth house, Aries is there. So once again, you're going to see, you could already tell this is family issues. But again, the family in the eighth house, this is people fighting over wills, power struggles, extreme emotions, because you got Cancer energy and water, that's watery energy. And then you got Scorpio energy, that's watery energy. So also, whenever you deal with Cancer and Scorpio or Cancer in the eighth house, be careful of becoming under the influence of wicked spirits. Be careful, because some people do get possessed, or they just have a hard time dealing with evil spirits. So we're just telling you the reasons why. And again, there are people that deal with stuff like that to help you get deliverance online. Taurus in the fifth house is highly sensual, but they can blow money quick. Because once they get out and they start to, because they're highly sensual, they start to feel good. Say they go out to Atlantic City or a casino or something. Oh, they're starting to feel good, and oh wow, all the lights and all the people, all the beautiful people, the music and everything. So they're really feeling good. Oh, then they're gonna get a massage, and because a Taurus likes a massage. Taurus is very sensual, and then that's when they can become very sexual, but they can also waste a lot of money because they get caught up in a spur of the moment. And again, Lilith is retrograde, so you're dealing with a lot of repressed emotions that a person will want to try to bring out as well. All right, we already explained Gemini in the sixth house. The sixth house concerns the service, young ones, animals, co-workers, subordinates. But it's really trying to help Gemini mature, to be more willing to stay in a relationship with communication and things like that. Seventh house again, twins. Gemini is a twins, communications. But again, this is like might not be a lasting relationship. Communication might be okay, but not enough to make you really last. Not enough to make the two really last. And we already explained the sixth house pretty much. Ninth house with Leo. Leo and Sagittarius can be highly psychic as well. But that's what she'll meet her whatever. She'll have a fated event. It was fate that this happened. It was destiny. It's going to be a nurturing event because of the Curious asteroid. But it's going to be some type of Sagittarius Leo energy. Probably going to be somewhat highly psychic, highly in tune, not just with planet Earth, but with the universe. And it's that vertex cross. And because of the way things are looking, it might even happen suddenly, because there is a connection between your 9th house, 8th house, and your 1st house. But either way, it's going to be leadership. Children may be involved. Having fun. Bold and courageous. All right, let me count that. All right, let me do this again. Okay, so the 6th house. The 6th house, like I said, I did say that, with Gemini. But they're trying to get Gemini to heal, to stay in a relationship, and not be short-sighted. But now the 7th house is family and a relationship. But that's going to be very lively because of all that Mars and that Uranus. All right. So then the 8th house is Leo. And again, your 8th house will be your soulmate. All that stuff I explained before. And she has a free report. But again, could be very playful, even like child, like you see people do role playing and stuff. See, that's Leo in the 8th house. Women talking like young girls and all that stuff you be seeing. That's all Leo in the 8th house. A lot of fantasy because you're playing. All right. So she'll have some type of a fated event, a meeting, a breakup, a soulmate, a twin soul, destiny, some type of fated event with Leo energy or Scorpio energy, because that's the 8th house. And also she'll be caressing or curious, nurturing, because that asteroid is curious. And then you have it in the 9th house, Virgo. Again, it's all about healing. That Sagittarius energy, and Chiron is also healing. So in her 9th house, there's going to be a lot of healing. So that Virgo energy is going to be healing her a lot. And possibly the Sagittarius energy is going to be healing her a lot, because Sagittarius rules the 9th house. Now, I think we probably did this already, but you obviously were born during a new moon or something, because of what's going on in your 10th house, which is also your career house. And a lot of people don't know that your 10th house, that career, is kind of like deals with karma. That's what career, karma. And Saturn rules it. Saturn is karma, because Saturn rules the Capricorn. So your true north node is in Scorpio, but your 11th house and your 10th house are working together. All right, so let's do this. Let me see if I can find my moon calendar real quick. All right. I typed it in. All right, here we go. Here we go. Now we put in the birth date. Give me a moment. All right. All right, we got it. Give me a moment. Waxing. Yep. It goes right from waxing crescent moon to your birth date, and then it says new. So you were born on a new moon. And you're like the second person that I've done their chart this week that has happened. They were more or less born directly on the new moon. So that's always going to be new stuff happening in your life, new beginnings and stuff like that. New things going on. Looking at your chart, you might see some 1 degrees and 0 degrees because that means new as well. Now this is your see that, and so that's why I said in your 10th house is ruled by Capricorn, ruled by Saturn. So that way you know that your 10th house, your first house, and your third house are all kind of linked in. All right. So new moon, and that's gonna be part of your life purpose because medium coeli works with your true north node. So like I said, this is really complicated, and you probably lived many lifetimes because you're gonna have family issues going on with relationship issues, and because Scorpio is in your 11th house, even friends and stuff like that. That's why I said you may even notice a magnetism of people attracting themselves to you. All right. So whenever you have Libra in the 10th house, that could be anything. Social concerns. Believe it or not, even Libra deals like the 7th house also deals with cemeteries. Believe it or not, but it could be open enemies. It could be something legal, justice. It could be partnerships. Some type of counseling he's at, some type of lawyer, some type of paralegal. And you can go back to the 7th house where I believe your 7th house has what, Cancer. Could be some type of family business, some type of educational business, family roots business, land and property, real estate. But whatever it is, it definitely has to do with your life purpose with that medium Coeli working with your 10th house. And you, like I said, you got the sun and moon there. So wherever you see Leo at, the sun is going to be right there, and that's like your eighth house. And then wherever the moon is at, your sun is going to be right there. Wherever your moon is at, that would be Cancer sign, because usually you see the moon rules Cancer. All right. Now you get to the 11th house. Whenever you see Scorpio in the 11th house, and it's a true north node too, and you see Juno. So that's why I said you'll find yourself in a serious relationship with somebody with that Aquarius energy or that Scorpio energy. But it could also be that Mercury energy. And remember, Mercury rules Virgo and Gemini, or that Jupiter energy, ruler of Sagittarius. And you got Pluto. So this is a person. This is a person who definitely gets along with people good. And you notice she has no retrogrades in that 11th house, which is amazing. She's got all those planets. And I think there's a name for that. And I don't know if it was your chart, because I found it one time. When you got that many planets in one house, there's a name for it. All right, so let's go back in the stellium. Emily, they call it. This is Lynn Coiner. Wow, she wrote a lot of information. All right. Just bear with me, y'all. Mm-mm-mm. Mercury, Venus. Give me a moment. Because it was trying to, this particular, was trying to give the, this is in the astro. They were trying to give you the possible 4 planet conjunctions, but yours ain't on there. They gave a list, but yours isn't on there. I'm almost there. I'm just trying to organize this. And this is in Dastro again. So the only people that I found to deal with this stellium is in Dastro.com and in Dastro.com, INDASTRO, and Lynn Cornier. LINNKONIER. getting there. We're getting there. All right. 2 websites in Astro.com deal with it, and then Lynn Corner. Now what I got it on one sheet, I want to organize it. This will be, then put it in my file. Basically, your 11th house is showing you as being able to just talk to a whole lot of people. Not only talk to them, but even transform them. And that's your life purpose. And that's also where you're going to meet the person you're going to be in a serious relationship with. But I'm saying a lot of people you meet are part of your soul tribe anyway. That's why sometimes you see somebody, they just seem to get along with a lot of people. How can they so popular? But it's for reasons like this. Money's going to be there because of Jupiter, just a love of people, having fun, that's Venus. Serious relationship, that's Juno. Your true north node is there, that's your life purpose. Also connected to your 10th house of medium quality. Great communicator there, great thinker, intelligent, organizer, that's Mercury. And Pluto, you're going to even be able to transform lives, and it might even transform your life as well too. Now, why it took so long, I just wanted to make sure I have a good understanding of stellium, so I still want to read it, because that's what it's called when you have like 3 or more planets in one house. That's a stellium. The example they used was took place in 11th house, and that's where yours takes place. See, the only thing when you do in Dasho, they don't do their houses like we do ours. So their 4th house is in our 4th house, so you got to be real careful. So they say it's a very rare astrological phenomenon when you have 4 or more planets in one house. You'd also look at where your Aquarius is again, because Aquarius rules your 11th house. And that's in your money sector too. Aquarius is in her 2nd house. So long as she stays with them people, she's always gonna have money. Because both Venus and Jupiter are money. Like if this person organizes get-togethers and stuff like that, she can make a lot of money that way too. Like that could be her career. That's what they're trying to tell you. But ironically, that's why it's connected to her 11th house and 10th house. 10th house is a career. They're connected together, but your relationship is also there too. With Libra and the 10th, and then Juno in the 11th. So your business partner could be your relationship, and y'all can make good money just doing that. And even like the 11th house is ruled by Uranus, and your Uranus is right there in Capricorn. So it's even gonna kind of it's gonna define her personality too. Like just think of people you know that are known for always throwing some type of event or something like that. Like if you think of like an early Puffy Combs, because he was always throwing some type of event or party or something like that. Like they're known for it. So that's how she would be. That's why I told you her first house really defines her personality. And that's going to be that Uranus Capricorn, second house, first house, 11th house, 10th house. That's going to define her personality. But also, Sagittarius is her ascendant. So that's again like travel. It could even be traveling long distance, going on cruises, going to the Caribbean and stuff like that. So that would be her livelihood. That's where she could make her money if she does that or is doing that. And what she has to be careful of is she has to make sure she understands foreign laws. If she's going international laws, because the 12th house is the house of reckoning, courthouses, buildings, the law, prisons, and that's the higher court. And I tell everybody, like a higher court here in America, you have the state court. They say, okay, you got 4 years, but you only do 1 year. You're out of jail in 1 year, on parole. But if the feds get you, the higher court, if they say you're doing 15 years, you best believe you're doing 14 years before you see the light of day. That's why these guys that got in trouble now, ARAB and all those guys, when you hear junk like life and 30 years and all that, they really mean it. It's not like, aha, 30 years, but we'll let you out in 10. That's what the state does. Oh, 30 years, okay, we gave you 12. Oh, you got out on good behavior. Nah, when the feds get you 30 years, mean you're doing about 20, 28, 29 years. So that's the higher court. So when you see Sagittarius, that represents the higher courts. And if it's international, you got to be careful. Because sometimes you do hear about people from the U.S. going across somewhere and getting caught. And they lock your ass up. Like lock you up in India, Malaysia, wherever. In the Middle East. So these are just things you have to be aware of if you're going to be traveling and things like that. And a lot of times, it could just be somebody that's in your group that does something stupid or causes suspicion. And you just have to be aware of those things. And that way you know that when you write up contracts, see contracts as agreements, that's Libra again. You got to know how to write those contracts so that they're held accountable. All I had was a little bit of weed. Yep, but you under contract and you were supposed to have no weed and we're not responsible for you and we ain't trying to help get you out of jail and we ain't trying to pay your legal bills because you violated contract, and when you violated contract, we don't owe you nothing. Because otherwise people try to flip it and blame you for it. Well, they saw me walking around. They saw me walking around smoking a joint. So they're in trouble too. It's like you go to a bartender and all the bartender's trying to do is their job. And you're over drinking and shit like that. You get in a car, crash somebody, kill somebody, and then now the bar is in trouble. Now it becomes the bar's fault. So the bar has to have rules and stuff like that to protect themselves. And even bartenders, if they think you're drunk, that's it. No more saying get out. Some bars, like say you're tired and you just happen to put your head down on that bar. The moment that head hits that bar, they're waking your ass up until you get up out of there. We ain't responsible for you. You ain't getting no more drinks. Get out of here. Now both of those was in Astro.com. This is Lynn Coiner. Lynn Coiner. K-O-N-I-E-R. L-I-N-N-K-O-N-I-E-R. So they say now because there's so many planets, it could create obsessive energy. This is what she's saying. And if the person becomes too obsessed with these energies, that becomes a total focus. Friends, association, groups getting together, yada yada yada. But like I said, when you listen to these rappers, that's what they're talking about. When they get money, phone always ringing, addicts, and somebody's always coming by. You guys, if you're dealing with addicts and stuff like that, so you can become obsessed. But it's so much money, you don't want to give it up, so you could care less. So they say you can also jump to the opposite house if that's the problem, but not really. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because your 11th house, the opposite of that is your 5th house, and that's still fun. That's the fun house. Let's just look at the chart. Yep. So 5th house then. So either you're gonna be partying with a whole lot of people, because she said jump to the opposite house to escape the obsessive energy. That's just not right, because you're either gonna be partying with a whole lot of people. You still got Scorpio, so you're gonna have a lot of stuff going on with that. Scorpio can be highly sexual too. Could be a Scorpio, can be everything. So she really has to read that paperwork she has, a free report, to really understand the 8th house, because Scorpio rules the 8th house. And even Leo in the 8th house can be very sexual. And if she jumps to the opposite house, that's gonna be Taurus. Taurus is very sexual too, especially Taurus and the 5th house, because Taurus will lose money in the 5th house. See, if you don't want to be losing money, you don't want to just be blowing money, and that's why I said when you listen to these rappers, that's all they're saying about, throwing the money up in the air and all kind of stupid stuff, making all this money, and you just get caught up with the obsession, like Will Smith the first time. Will Smith made so much money when he first had his first million. Everybody, the friends, association groups, everybody asking Will for money. He's buying everything for everybody, and then he's dead broke again. And 50 Cent did the same thing. A lot of people talk trash about 50 Cent, but when he first became famous, he was paying all them people. He had to learn to stop doing that, because you have to understand how to do business. Like, you want people to, have money, but you can't lose all your money paying them. So that's why business is business, and that's why I was saying about knowing contracts and all that. And see, Scorpio deals with other people's money and shared resources and all that. So you got to be very, very careful, even if you know about stocks, because you might start a company and say, okay, you people can buy shares of stocks or something. But it's got to be business. Everything's got to be business, and some people don't understand that. They think, oh, he got a lot of money. They got a lot of money. They could give me some of it. No, they could help you a little bit. If you want to work for it, you can get some of it. But this ain't no freaking charity. This is business. So you got to really be a boss to do that. And that's why 50 doesn't do like he used to. But when he was, a lot of people don't know that. 50 used to pay them people quite well. They can't say jack about 50 because 50, unlike a lot of these other dudes, they wasn't paying them nothing. And Jay-Z helped his people a little bit, but when it was over, it was over. And that's why Benny Siegel was angry, saying Jay-Z ain't doing nothing for me. And he said, rock forever, but Jay-Z ain't doing jack. And then Jay-Z was like, listen, all these people coming after me, they coming after me not for what I did, for what I don't give them. So you gotta really understand business. So don't run to your opposite house because it's still going to be a loss. Because Taurus is very frivolous in the 5th house. Very highly sexual, very sensual, and will blow money easy. So you definitely don't run to the opposite house. You learn how to deal with the energy in the house that you're in. Just got to learn how to boss up if you haven't already. So they said also you have to be careful because when these planets transit a hard aspect, that could affect you, or transit a hard aspect to the planets in a T-square, everything goes away. So that's why I said this person, you just got to be aware of that. And that's how I said, because I have some people, they get their forecast all the time from me. Like sometimes they get the whole year, 2018, 2019, or however you do it, but you have to just know what's coming. You got to really know what's up with Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Pluto. Because you right now, Venus is retrograde in Scorpio, so that's got to be affecting your 11th house. And I even did videos on what Venus retrograde means because it's retrograde right now. I did videos on what Venus retrograde means in Scorpio and all that stuff. So they said a stellium will definitely give you a definite talent. I've already told you what that was. But she says you need to have balance. And she keeps saying you need an escape hatch. I'm just going to be 100% honest with you. The best escape hatch you can be is to learn how to deal with it. Like, let's just say you were Prince. Now, everybody at some point wanted to hear Prince, see Prince, blah, blah, blah. That's a lot of freaking pressure. Well, you want that fame. That's why you got in the business. You want that fame. You want that fortune. So that is your escape hatch. You got to learn how to deal with that. You got to learn how to go out there and perform and handle that. And even look at Steve Harvey. That dude all over. Radio, he's on it. All these different channels, he's on it. So he had to find some way every day to be Steve Harvey. And one thing he told people was, do not come up to me. If you see me walking down the hallway, don't you dare walk up to me trying to pitch no idea to me or let me hear your music or nothing like that. Do not come up to me. And people say, oh, he was being rude. And they said, no, he wasn't. Look how busy that man is. That man ain't got no time to hear about your life. He's too busy doing his. So that's why I said balls. You have to be balls. Look at say anything to somebody like Oprah. So it's almost like a blessing to have something like that. But it could be a curse, but usually it's a curse because we don't know how to deal with it. You have to really be boss up. That's why some people, right in this township, it's a preacher. He got bodyguards because he's a multi-millionaire preacher. And he got in trouble on YouTube. That's the preacher that said, get off Facebook. But he had his own little thing going on with his wife and her secretary and the boyfriend. And he had some strange, weird stuff going on. But yeah, he always had bodyguards. He walking through the mall with bodyguards. He got a $1 million toilet in his mansion that he flushed the toilet, the water come up and clean his ass. So it is what it was. But he had to learn how to deal with that. And unfortunately, you have to. Because the universe is actually blessing you and putting you at a status like a king or a queen. And you got to be able to deal with that. That's your escape hatch. Your escape hatch is not running to another house. Your escape hatch ain't tapping out. Your escape hatch is bossing up and learning how to deal with it. But you don't need nobody running up on you. You don't need to hear no new ideas. Them people got to find a way. They need to get their natal charts done so they can find out what their strong points are and stop trying to tap into your energy. Because that's why I love me. You ain't sapping into my energy. Like, it took me a lot. Like, I lost a lot of people, but it never really bothered me that much. I just had to get used to it because it would be too much. And that's why people have to realize. Let me see if I still have her. And she did an excellent job on astrology. Let me tell you what her name is. Beautiful woman of color. Okay, I just got rid of her. I just took her off my list. But right when you go to her description box, she tells you, do not ask me for nothing free. I don't give out no free advice. She says that. So it is what it is. Because you have to make that clear with people. Otherwise, they will try to sap up your energy. So that's your escape hatch. Learning how to boss up. And of course, in any job, you gotta learn how to relax. But there's a time and place for everything. All right, we're almost out of here with that 11th house. All right, this is still Lynn Cornier, the 11th house stellium. Involvements with groups, association, and organizations. And again, it's friends, association, and groups. Keyword friends as well, because she's not saying friends. That's very important. Communities like YouTube, Facebook, any Patreon, anything. Like, if she sets up, she can't fail. Like, she doesn't. This female does not need to work for anybody. If she just sets up, it'll work. And that's why sometimes you say, where's my twin? Where's my love? Sometimes you don't find them because you don't put yourself in your purpose. You got to find out what house and shit. If you really want it, you got to put yourself in it. But like I always try to teach you, just like on that free report she got, it told you the stages of a twin flame relationship. Because a twin flame relationship is not always, oh, love and all that. Y'all can really hurt each other emotionally really bad and do really bad stuff to each other. Sleep with other people, all kind of crazy stuff. And sometimes it might be your soulmate. That is your answer. Sometimes it might not. It might just be somebody else. That's why I learned to just, like, I'm a little bit different. I don't really, like, you got to get, I heard somebody else say that too. Well, two people said it. Angelica said it. And it's another dark-skinned female said it too. You got to get to the point that you really don't care. I mean, I do my astrology every day. And in that sense, I'm looking for my, quote, twin flame or, quote, soulmate every day. Because I do astrology every day. This is my guidance. But at the same time, I'm not really stressed for it. I love my life. I love what I do. And I love being single. So if it happens, it happens. But I'm not going crazy. Like, I just met my soulmate. And I don't know if y'all listen to my other channel. But they would say, she's the one. Everybody, she's the one. She's the one. And I knew it and she knew it. As soon as we seen each other, we knew it. But she came off with some type of, oh, any man that want to be with me better be this and better be that. And I've been in so many relationships. That's the last thing a female would have said to me. So I turned away, but not because I was mad at her. I turned away because I was hurt. And I was like, oh, she ain't going to hurt me. She's not going to hurt me like everybody else. So she could feel that I turned away from her. And then when I turned away from her, you could almost see her going crazy. She was trying her best to get back in and get back in. And it took a while. Like if you could see that the spirit was really helping me, you know, try to talk to her again and stuff. And she really waited the whole time until I started talking to her. She was real happy when I started talking to her again. It's not like I was egging her, but I just been hurt. So I just know how to move. Like I'm gonna move. Like ain't nobody gonna stop me from doing my job, getting my money, and stuff like that. So I've always been like that. That's my moon sign is Capricorn, so I'm always about my business. And my sun sign is Leo, but when it comes to love and all, I don't mess with Leo like that no more because I feel like I grew up. Some people say, oh, you know, you're just cold and you need love and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, if it happens, it happens. But what if it don't come? You could lose your mind waiting for something that may never come in your lifetime. And I'm not saying that to make anybody feel bad. I'm saying that because I keep telling you, you have to grow up and you have to boss up. Because the more you grow up and the more you boss up, the more you'll be able to say, okay, well, this isn't going the way I thought it would go. So now let me flip it and do it this way. And then you might, you know, you might have wanted that Porsche, but you ain't get that Porsche, but you got a nice little Honda Civic or something, a nice little Honda Accord or something. But at least you got something. Got to learn how to be grateful and thankful, and you got to find somebody who's just as happy to be with you as you are with them. Now when I see her, she's real happy to see. Like she don't do all that shit she did when I first met her. Like when I first met her, she never really smiled. She just kept giving me a system of expectation. And I said, man, that's a hell of a way to meet somebody. Now, me and her were dreaming about each other. Like, I already knew because I already been through this with my twin flame. So when I walked in the building, I knew it was her and she knew it was me. And we don't know each other. As soon as we seen each other, we knew. Like, she was like, that's the dude I've been dreaming about. And I was like, yeah, that's her. Seen her in the dream and everything. Same thing happened with my twin. So that was a hell of a way to meet somebody. Like, you gonna just meet me and start making demands and shit? Are you crazy? I'm a black man in America. Do you know how many people come at me sideways? And you're supposed to be the, quote, chosen one? So I was hurt. I was offended, too, but I was hurt and offended. But I still liked her, though. I never had nothing against her, but it was just my heart was like, nah, I ain't opening up to you. And when she realized what she did, she really, like, went out of her way to try to get back in. But anyway, let's get back to this 11th house, involvement with groups, associations, and organizations. But she's forgetting friends. That's the biggest one because Aquarius is really that friendship sign, believe it or not. That's why everybody's looking for the Aquarius age. And Aquarius rules the 11th house. Excuse me for one moment. Involvement with groups, associations, and organizations, and I put in friends, swallow up the individual and keep the individual from gaining a perspective because they're lost in the group cause or values like lemming going to a sea. But my point is, when you boss up, you don't get caught up in the group. You don't get caught up in the cause because you learn how to lead the group and you learn how to lead the cause. Therefore, how are you going to get caught up in something that you're leading? This is why the greatest ones that do it, that's how they do it. You can't get caught up in nobody else's cause because you're going to get swallowed up. You got to boss up. Now let's do it again. 11th house, Scorpio. Scorpio rules the 8th house. So let's go to the 8th house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let me do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So in your 8th house is boss, Leo. So Leo energy is working with your 8th house or Scorpio energy to make sure you're the leader in your 11th house. So the universe ain't going to put you somewhere where you're not fit for it. You just got to learn how to take that energy. So that's what Len Corner is very worried about, is you being swallowed up because of all the energy. But if you do what I do, you'll know how to tap into it. You know how to tap into those planets. And you'll use it for your benefit. Because I do stuff like that. I used to tell the universe when I wanted to talk to my twin, and she'd be right there. I could walk somewhere and she'd be waiting right there. And that was 2014 and 2016. That used to happen all the time. Even today. Like at the end of this video, I'm going to throw a picture up of her. Because like a lot of shit's going on right now, and she's still in my life. But it's through synchronicities and shit. So a lot of shit was going on. I kept seeing her name all day today, and even a picture. Or what she looked at in between 2014 and 2016. At the end of this video, I'm going to put her in there. Alright. So she's still around. And even at my job, the last day I worked, a woman walked in and looked just like her. Because there's a lot of crazy. This twin flame stuff and soulmate stuff is so powerful. It's unbelievable. Another day I met a female that I was really attracted to. And it's funny because when I walked past her, like I didn't even talk to her where I work at. she actually stopped me and started talking to me. And I just started liking her. And then we started kind of making eye contact or whatever. And we both were showing each other a lot of attention where I work at. So when she walked out to the car, I was like, yo, could I walk with you and, you know, help you put your bags up or whatever? She said, yeah. We had a great conversation and shit. She gave me her first name, which is a Bible name. And then she volunteered her second name. But her second name is the name of my soulmate that works at that job. Same job I work at. That day, the moon came out of nowhere above the Atlantic Ocean in the east. Broad daylight above two pillar of clouds like the high priestess. And right across from the moon in the west was the sun. It was the most metaphysical, beautiful thing I've seen in my life. I was telling customers, look, and then everybody's looking up in the sky and stuff. And I called this guy outside to see it as well. So that was a message about that female that I had met, but it was also a message about the soulmate that works there. So that's how this stuff really works. So this person will become, it says, part of the herd in terms of collective values when any group. But again, you just don't want to be collective. They're actually supposed to be part of what you set up. So it's like your collection. You're not part of the collective. If you're doing it that way, you're wrong. Because I just showed you astrologically how it's not supposed to be you part of the collective value. It's supposed to be your collection and they're part of that. That's the universal way you're supposed to do it. Because if you do it that way, you won't burn out. You only burn out when you keep trying to keep up to somebody else's standards. But that's not what your chart is saying. Your chart is saying you set the standard. You might start off first part of the collective, but you're supposed to rise and actually. And there's nothing wrong with that because it's in your chart. That's not being arrogant. That's following your destiny. Just like I'm a freaking Leo. And it took me years. Because when I first came out, I was highly aggressive. And then, for whatever reasons, I became less aggressive. And now God is basically trying to say, no, you're a Leo. You got to learn how to start rawing again. If you become too, whatever, scared or too, whatever. So you got to go back to being a lion. You just got to find that perfect balance. It's not always easy to find, but you have to find it. So that's what they encourage you to work with smaller groups where you feel a sense of control and stability, or whatever you can do. But you know you got some grand planets like Pluto and Jupiter ain't small, so you just gotta learn how to deal with it. Like T.D. Jakes was a little country boy, and a friend of his is right here in New Jersey, Pastor Donald Hilliard in Asbury Park, New Jersey, but also Perth Amboy, New Jersey. You can look this up, but he knew T.D. Jakes when T.D. Jakes was a country boy that didn't know how to dress. And T.D. Jakes came all the way to New Jersey to see his old friend. Now T.D. Jakes is one of the biggest preachers in the history of mega churches. So much that I think he gave some of it away, or he sold it. He sold some of it. So this is what she said, I run away from my 11th house and I run to the 5th house. But I go with a group of about only 5 people. And this could be a scouting group, an exercise gathering, a study group, or a small support group. Greater fulfillment goes through focusing with one's children. Because remember, 5 is Leo, and Leo's about the children. So that's what she does. But see, what she's failing to know, you got Taurus in your 5th house. You just got to be careful. Because you might do more damage with Taurus in the 5th house than you ever would do in your 11th house. So that's why I warned you. This is what makes me one of the greatest astrologers of all time. Ha ha ha! Because I keep it 100% real at all times. Jersey all day. New Jersey all day. All right. So that does your chart. Now, let's go on over. Well, what do we have here? Ascendant is Taurus. And that's his true north node. And his Kiris is retrograde. I mean, he has trouble with nurturing. in the Taurus area. Gemini. Give me one moment. I'm going to pull your file up. (9/22) is my sister. Birthday is 9:22 p.m. 10/28/2018. Because I'm getting a lot of messages about family and stuff. Especially my youngest sister. I just had a dream. I kept dreaming about her, so I had to warn her this morning. My sister at 9/22, she's deceased, and my sister at 9/22 actually passed away on my younger sister's birthday of 2/25. My niece was born on 9/25. So you can see how 25 follows his family. I think a lot of people like Tupac was 25 when he died. Malcolm X was killed on the 25th. The rapper named Dollar was killed on the 25th. All right. All right, so now in his second house. All right, so ascendant, Taurus. He's going to be about money, his value system, possessions, finance. So his ascendant and his second house are going to go hand in hand because he's Taurus. What he has to be careful of is Tauruses are magnetic, usually good looking. People love them. People follow Tauruses. But he has to be careful of, he may be right, but just because he's right, people might want to try to do it their own way anyway. But he has to learn how to let it go. Let it go. If they want to do it their own way, he has to let it go. And he can't, try to bully him and make him do it anyway. And that aggression. So you see it even in the 12th house. So in his 12th house, he's got to learn how to use his Aries aggression to help others and probably be more humble. Because your 12th house will always be lessons and karma and pulling things out that are hidden under the carpet of subconscious and pulling them out. So even though he's Aries in 12, he's got to learn how to use that Aries energy in a servile way to help other people and not in a selfish way. See, will I am, Aries says I am. But in the 12th house, it has to be I am a servant. I am here to help you. You can't be in the 12th house where I am running over top of everybody, because that's the house you're supposed to be a servant. And it's opposite the 6th house, which we'll talk about when we get there. So basically, it's 12th house, 1st house, and 2nd house is all about toning it down. Still being good at what he does, but toning it down. Now, in his 2nd house, he's probably going to have some type of communication, dealing with possessions, finances, his value system, communications, maybe some type of creation, publishing. And as you can see, his Chiron retrograde means he's got past pains in that area. And his Lilith in the 12th house shows that he's going to kind of be holding things in that he needs to bring out. A lot of times you can do this in your dreams by having a dream journal, writing your dreams down, or you got to be honest with how you feel about certain things. You got to be honest about it, because the 12th house, you're supposed to be bringing this stuff up so you can reckon with it and get healing. So now in his 3rd house, And he got that 22 degrees as well. But he's dealing with family, communication, primarily siblings, which is brother or sisters. In the community around him. He may even relate to other people in his community as if family, you know, what's up, fam, or as family. And that could even be the third house deals with education, but it's younger education. But it could even be family education, but it's more like for younger ages. Fourth house is Leo. So now, Leo in the fourth house, no other planets, no other. So this could be something about leadership, fun. It could imply like a relationship with a family-minded person of Leo energy. Definitely has something to do with children as well. But you see that in the third house. So it's definitely, he's got some type of connection to children. Because even in the second house with Gemini, that's still children. That's like siblings. But usually Gemini is the third house, which is still like younger education. So really his second house, his third house, and his fourth house is all implying some type of educational connection with, say, younger children. And in some cases it could be teenagers, but usually it's like younger. And now in the fifth house he got Virgo. But this is service. And that's an interesting one. Virgo in the fifth house. So let's look that one up. Give me one moment. I'm double checking everything because I got to be out here early in the morning. So I'm making sure I got everything I need. Now remember, Virgo can be kind of picky or kind of critical because they're real good at seeing things. But that could be a strong point. But it could be nerve-wracking because I know my mother's a Virgo and my older sister is a Virgo, was a Virgo. And no matter how many times I would double check my resume and all that, as soon as I gave it to my mother, within a matter of seconds, she could see any mistyped word or whatever. And it used to frustrate me so much because I would sit there and study it, and think. I'm pretty sure as soon as I gave it to her, she could always see it. So Virgos had that gift of just being able to see what's wrong with something or what's out of place. But that can really piss you off. And sometimes in a relationship, like they can be kind of critical because they like to dish it out, but they can't take it. Like if you say something back to them about themselves, they get offended, but they like to tell you about yourself. All right. This is astrofix.net. They said, "Are you an astrology addict?" And I guess I am. So, because I've been getting rid of a lot of my little newsletters and stuff, but I'm gonna subscribe to this one and see how it works out. They said I'm already subscribed. Yeah, well then send me a newsletter if I'm already subscribed, because you haven't sent anything. Choose your sign, Leo. Give me a second, y'all. Did they take it? What the hell? Why they do that? This is stupid. They only give you two. They talking about your birthday, but they won't. They only give you 2 digits. How the hell? That's so stupid. I'm gonna be like my doctor. You're so stupid. Before we subscribe you, we need to confirm that you confirm you are a human. I am not a robot. Captcha Bridges. And it's funny. I was just talking about New Jersey and Governor Christie and why Prince Harry really came to see Brother Christie or Governor Christie, and then all of a sudden, Brother Christie had all those problems and he couldn't win the presidential election because of the bridge situation. Interesting. Funny how the world works. There are errors below. Okay, well, enough of you guys. Oh, they got this beautiful picture of Mother Mary. Because she's Virgo. Okay, and let me see, because I really want that picture. Because she looks like Our Lady of Guadalupe, but it's different. If it was Our Lady of Guadalupe, she would be like green. You would see green. All right. So give me a moment. I'm trying to figure this out. But remember, my twin's name is Rosa. And you see all the roses around the Mother Mary. But I told you, in order to go to the Mother Mary or the Divine Feminine, you have to go through the Rose Portal. And to prove it, all you got to do is read Acts chapter 12. When Peter tried to get to Mother Mary's house, he was stopped at the gate, and the name God gave me is Gat, G-A-T, because there's a gate, that's the gateway, and then there's a rose portal. And then the woman that was at the door that wouldn't let Peter through the gate was Rhoda. That's the rose portal. Should look into it. I know my stuff, man. I don't be making nothing up. All right. That's Acts chapter 12. And I think they mention the word Easter there as well. And all Easter is about the resurrection. Like when you die, you're resurrected. And depending on who you are, that's how you get to see Mary. And it shall let you through them gates. But in Peter's case, he couldn't come up. He represented people that are not going to be able to go into the house of Mary. All right, in that particular chapter. All right, give me a moment. I'm checking these things out. Because okay, this is what I want. This is what I want. Hi, Mother Mary. All right. So you're going to see Mother Mary, and then directly after Mother Mary, you're going to see Rosa. Very good. It went right to your file. I was hoping it would do that. All right. So now we said Virgo in the 5th house. Uh-oh. Now Virgo in the 5th house, she's nude. Told you she be changing. She be changing from the just like the priestess, just like Vesta. And Vesta and Virgo work together. They go from being like the spiritual priestess, but it depends on the house of the arrangement, or they become like highly sexual, but sex to them is still spiritual. So now we got to put this one in there too. All right, give me a moment because I'm thinking. All right. Alright, Virgo. Oh man, bummer. Shit sucks. Feel like using foul language. Alright. Y'all gotta wait because just got X'd out. And I don't feel like rushing. So I'm gonna take care of one other thing. Alright, I just gotta do a couple other things. I'm just waiting. Like I said, I have no energy to fucking push anything, so I'm just waiting. Because that was just some dumb shit that always happens. Like I listen to people on YouTube and the same thing happens to them. It's like you're always battling against other shit. Alright. Now we're gonna try to find it again. Yeah, it was like Astrofix. So hopefully we'll find it again. We should be able to find it. There it is. Virgo in the 5th house. Okay. Well, let me read this one first. This is astrologyclub.org, Virgo in the 5th house. This one seems a little bit more 5th house-ish. Virgo in the 5th house finds more pleasure and joy in their recreational pursuits when they are able to plan them and follow through on those plans to completion. Though this placement may provide structure for your creativity, you may also find that at times your creativity and spontaneity are held back by your need to make a plan for everything. Because again, it's supposed to be the 5th house, so you want to go about it with a fun mentality. You don't want to go with it trying to plan every detail or noticing, the roller coaster, blah blah blah, or stuff that's taken away from the fun. Because that's what a Virgo might tend to do. They're looking for details that, even though they're kind of correct, it's just inappropriate. Because you're trying to have fun. You're not trying to see everything that's wrong with the scheduling or the amusement park or whatever. It's important for you to remember that your creative expression cannot always be planned. You may come across others as fake or inauthentic if you give too much attention to the details of how it all happens rather than who you are being while it happens. So Virgo in the 5th house demonstrates your need for creativity. This creativity is in service with Virgo. So this would be hard for you to go out with this person. Like let's just say you follow Lynn Corner's advice. You say, hey, I gotta get out this 11th house. It's too much. I'm going to the 5th house. I'm gonna have fun. Well, you ain't gonna have too much fun with the Virgo in the 5th. Now, there's exceptions to every conception. That statement I made may not be true, but again, I'm not trying to find out. See, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm at a point in my life now where, okay, they said this soulmate is the one, the chosen one. But I'm at the point now where I don't want to try to figure that shit out again. Because every time I try to figure it out, I end up getting hurt. So I don't have it. I said, well, if she's the chosen one, she's going to have to prove it. And I put all the weight on her. Because normally I take the weight. Never works out. I said, she's going to have to prove it. So it kind of kept everybody at a stalemate. Now, I just did a reading today that kind of implied she's going to step it up. But what I did, I was having a good time. When my alarm goes off, it's usually rock and roll music. And so I was wondering if the alarm in the background, if the music comes on in the background, would I get a copyright hit from YouTube? And I said, how is that? I always wondered about that. If you're playing music in the background, will they stop your video? And then they damn sure did. Because I was rocking at like 3 different songs throughout the course of that. So the whole video got banned in throughout the world and shit. Because I had music playing in the background. So that's pretty cool though. I mean, that's really that's good. I didn't think that shit was possible. But now I know that it is. So that's how that went. So Virgo in the 5th house has got to not just be creative, because the 5th house is not just about creation. but they've got to learn how to just have fun. And this is fun in a relationship if you're going out with somebody that you're in a relationship with, or creativity with a relationship if you're going out in the 5th house with somebody you want to be in a relationship with. And they can't have any negative assessments, negative criticism, or judgments. The creativity cannot be superficial. So that's really a challenge, because that's why I looked it up. I knew Virgo in the 5th house. I said, whoa. But that's not always true, because like my mother's extremely fun. She's a Virgo though. She's like just like I'm not a typical Leo. My mother's not a typical Virgo, and neither is my sister. Cause they love that. They if all they had to do was have fun, that's all they would do. Now this one calls itself astrofix.net, but they see Virgo in the 5th house as somewhat of a highly sexual energy or existence. So they say for Virgo, the 5th house for Virgo means enjoying tedious tasks, getting pleasure from detail work, embroidery as a hobby. And actually she's nude, but it looks like she's working on some type of a garment that she's working on. Sports that require specific technical skills. Hobbies and interests that are detail oriented and require specific technical skills. So that the Virgo in the 5th, an ideal Virgo in the 5th house would probably like board games and shit, like investigative board games and stuff. Working at a hobby. Taking care of your health is a hobby. Buying health products for fun. So she might like exercising a lot. Eating health food for fun. Getting pleasure from taking care of the body. Getting pleasure from being healthy. Sports that require peak health. Seeking peak health as a hobby. Studying health for fun. Sports medicine. Getting enjoyment from studying. Getting pleasure from being a good student. Teacher's pet. Scheduling fun. Scheduling romance. Oh man. But be careful, because they can be critical of their children. Because remember, the 5th house is fun and children. So the Virgo in the 5th house has really got to watch being critical, especially your children. And that's the worst place to be critical, is the 5th house. Because people are trying to have fun. Helping your children achieve their very best. Helping children study. A tutor for children and teens. And that's what I said. Didn't I say that earlier about the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd house? Or whatever I said. 2nd, 3rd, 4th house. Whatever I said, they just said it. A tutor for children and or teens. I said the same thing. Critical, narrow-minded children. Well, children are often a result of their parents. Not always, but often. Fault finding. Fault finding. Pessimistic. Obsessive compulsive children. Again, but that's usually the result of the parent. Technically skilled, organized, and well-disciplined children. Being obsessive compulsive about health of your children. Children who are health conscious. Children who are obsessive compulsive about their health. Sports that require manual dexterity. Someone who treats child rearing like a job. Treating sport activities like a job. Treating creative activities like a job. Daily creativity, daily sports, a creative routine, a sports routine. Setting routines for children, a daycare worker. An Etsy.com shop owner. Attracted to people who are picky, fault-finding, and petty. Attracted to people who are humble, helpful, and unselfish. Attracted to people who are technically skilled and manually dexterous. Attracted to efficient workaholics. Attracted to critics. Romances with health-conscious clean freaks. Romances with hypochondriacs. I feel like I'm in a freaking Woody Allen movie. Picky about romantic partners. Finding fault with romantic partners. Wanting a flawless romance. Wanting flawless children. Plastic surgery for fun. Wanting a flawless sports performance. I'm starting to feel like I'm watching David Letterman's top 10 list. Timid about taking risk. Appropriate risk taking. Willing to take risks to help children. Risk analysis. Excuse me? Excuse me. Did he just say risk analysis? But isn't that an oxymoron? How can it be a risk if you're analyzing it? A skillful risk taker. A truly creative craftsman. Someone who has the technical skill to execute a creative impulse. How do you execute a creative impulse? Isn't that an oxymoron? How is it an impulse if you're technically analyzing or skilling it? Someone who is skilled in the technical portion of a sport. Someone who has the technical skill needed for a hobby or interest. Dating a technically skilled person. Dating a craftsman. Practical fun. Practical romance. And that's Virgo in the 5th house. From astrofix.net. Chicka. Excuse me, y'all. I'm just trying to get back because after that got X'd out accidentally, I'm just trying to get everything back to where it was. It is 10:01 p.m. October 28, 2018. Come on. All right. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here you go. Libra in the 6th house. So now there's going to be a Libra Virgo connection. Remember, the 6th house is about health, service. You can say correction if you want. Healing. Daily activities. Small children, small animals. Co-workers. Subordinates. Libra's about business partners, relationships, open enemies, contracts, legal matters, social issues, justice. vertex cross, Vesta. So that's interesting. Because Vesta in the 6th house, and see, this the 6th house is about home. So this type of person would like some type of relationship in a home setting. And even he's interested in social and or legal issues. But he wants it to be right down the middle. Notice how his Juno is 2 degrees. That's the couple number. So when you see his 6th house, you can really see that he really wants this in his 5th house as well. And I can respect that. Now that I see his 6th house, I can respect his 5th house. Because he don't want to have fun with you if you ain't about that. Because I'm the same way. Nigga, why I want to hold your hand and shit so you can break my heart? I can respect that. He trying to build. He don't got no time for no silly ass love. You think the world would have had enough of silly love songs? I look around me and I see it isn't so. I'm so sad that that video got banned and shit. Because I was singing, I was having myself a ball. Because I really want to know if they gonna ban me for some music in the background and I'm singing and shit. They damn sure did. But that's why I tell you this world is such a fake. Because look at, they could ban something like that, but look at all the stuff they let get away with. People getting killed, they don't ban that. But they'll ban your shit if you happen to have on some copyrighted material in your background. This is a crazy ass planet. Alright, so that's what's up with his 6th house. And that's his vertex. So this is going to be his soulmate or his twin. Definitely going to be either Libra, excuse me. It's definitely going to be Libra or Virgo energy. So if you were to look at her chart. I said Libra or Virgo energy. So let's go through. See? Seeing her Virgo, 6th house, Gemini, going Libra, 7th house, Cancer, Libra or Virgo energy. 9th house is Virgo, not connected with his. But you got the medium Coeli with Libra. But even her medium Coeli Libra, but that's like Libra or Capricorn or something like that. But it will go back to the 7th house because of the moon. The moon rules Cancer. So her medium Coeli will connect her to some type of Capricorn or Cancer type. Or even like the sun, or like the Leo. Any ruler of the sun. So they wouldn't connect there. But let's keep going. So just for a role, he really wants a relationship-minded person. And somehow he seems to be kind of good with kids. All right, now let's go the other way. Before we go up, let's go back around. We did 12. We did houses 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now house 11. Anti-spiritual, around friends, association, and groups. Now, Palace means a person can see patterns well, but Palace retrograde means that the person is good with social issues and children and people that really are considered a minority or people that usually need help. But what I tend to do whenever I see Palace, whether it's direct or whether it's retrograde or not, I apply that. Because that's what he's going to be doing. He's going to be like an inspirational, spiritual type person, and he's going to be affiliated or associated with groups and friends and associations, but he's going to be inspirational. So his 11th house is a lot like his 12th house, but again, he's got to be very careful in his 12th house because that Aries aggression or that I am could become a problem. But the 12th house should never be about you. It should always be about you serving other people. So you got to use that aggressive or forward-moving Aries energy to use it to teach other people how they too can stand up on their own 2 feet and they can also move ahead with their lives. And I'm going to say it again, the best help you can give anybody is to teach them how to help themselves so they're not always trying to suck up your energy or somebody else's. We have too much of that going on in this planet. Now, the 10th house is the career. Now, when you see Aquarius, this is the community, the brother, not the community, but this can also be science, technology, some type of enlightenment. And also, you see it again. Whenever you see Mars and Aquarius, this is standing up for the people. See, this guy's kind of like a social dude. He likes helping children, and he's not afraid to stand up for the people. In some ways, he reminds me a lot of Dolo, the Moor. And you can see Dolo out here on YouTube. He's on a lot of channels, but one of his main channels is Silver Gold Bay. B-E-Y, all 3 words. Silver Gold Bay. Because Dolo's always working with the children, and he's not afraid to stand up against white supremacy, and he's not afraid to address social issues. And he's real family minded. A lot of people think because Dolo's a street dude, he can't be family minded. Plus, from his own admission, he didn't have the best family situation in his own life growing up, but yet he's very family minded. So that's what you're looking at here. And whenever you see the moon, it's internal. It could also be hidden. So in astrology, they really advise you to reckon with hidden things in your 12th house. Because you know what? His moon is right next to Mars, and Mars rules Aries. So anything he's gotten deep down in his 12th house, he needs to reckon with it. Be honest with it. Talk about it. Because he may have had a bad experience with a Capricorn or an Aries energy. So he needs to reckon with that. But he is going to be very intent on helping the community, helping those in need, social issues, women issues he might even be involved with. Because that's what Mars and Aquarius also means. Standing up for women. And that's going to kind of be his career. Now his medium Coeli is in his 9th house. And usually when you see that, that's some type of mentor situation going on. It could be your twin, but it's some type of person in your life that may serve as some type of mentor or somebody you either connect with or learn from. His Venus is 17 degrees, which again is that 17 is that Magi priest number. but it's also the number of karma. See, a lot of people don't know how the Magi priests tie in with Jesus, but you got to remember Jesus was born around the tax time. See, that's all 8th house. That's all karma. And then on the 8th day, they circumcised them. So it's hard for people to understand what I'm about to say, but Jesus' karmic debt was to die for humankind. That was his life purpose, but that was also part of his karmic debt. And that's why if you really study, they'd be talking about Jesus was in India and stuff like that. But that's where we learned about karma from India and stuff like that. And that would be something interesting to look at to see if anybody else realizes that. Jesus' karmic debt. The 7 Levels of Karmic Debt by MichaelTeachings.com. How karmic debt is used by great masters such as Jesus. See, they saying it just like I told y'all. It's on OCOY.org. The title of it is Karmic Debt, Great Masters. To someone who asked how Jesus could have a personal karmic debt requiring the crucifixion for its expiation if he had become Christ and was in total conscious union with the Absolute. Did Jesus really pay the price of our sins? Because if he paid the price, he had a karmic debt. Even when they asked him to say the Lord's Prayer, he said it. Give us this day our bread for this day, and forgive us our debt. Even he said it, as we forgive the sins of others. Because if he ain't had no debt, he would have told you to say it. He would have said us. See, I be knowing what I'm talking about. Y'all just hate me, and I don't care because I'm not going to change because I know I'm right. I'm still eating, motherfuckers. You ain't shutting this nigga down over here because I'm with God, God with me. I be listening to Pastor Dewey. I'm in love with Jesus, and he's in love with me. I'm in love with Jesus, and he's in love with me. Let me hear you say yeah. I don't care if I can't sing. God says I sound wonderful. As long as God loves it, I'm happy. So the old Gary ain't changing. You can't change. You can only improve when you're right. Remember that. Unless you mess up. See, can't nobody mess you up. You mess yourself up. Don't respond to those idiots. Let them go their own way. Or the devil going to keep sending them trying to knock you out the box. But you got to pray for wisdom. And you got to flip it. It's like a chess game. All right. So now we'll go back. Now we're going to go back. All right. So medium Coeli at 23 degrees. And remember, medium Coeli works with the true north node. So his true north node is Earth sign. He's a very earthy general. He's a very earthy gentleman with a lot of Virgo, a lot of Taurus, a lot of Capricorn. So his 9th house is working very much with his 1st house. And Capricorn represents karmic debt. Could also represent old soul. And it's ruled, of course, by Saturn. So in his 9th house, they are addressing karmic debt. And I believe we said the same thing about her 1st house. So this is where you see they have a soul depth connection, a soul karmic debt connection is his ninth house and her first house. Because you got Capricorn there. You got Neptune just like she do, Capricorn and Neptune. And he's gonna make money out that house too, and he got Venus and Jupiter. Kind of like what she got. And this is in his ninth house. But remember, her 11th house connects to her ninth house. We already talked about that. We already proved that. So when you see something like that, it's a soul depth karmic connection. And again, the only way people can work that type of debt off is when they understand astrology and they're willing to submit to it. Because you might be married to some, you might be married, but you at your job, it may be somebody at your job that you actually have a karmic debt with. So what are you gonna do? Tell your wife? Your wife ain't trying to hear that shit. Oh baby, no, listen, just a karmic debt, baby. Don't even worry about it. We're just doing what the universe told us. Your wife ain't gonna bet. Oh sure, honey, you can spend time with her. Oh, I trust the universe. Oh, don't worry, baby. Ain't nobody gonna. So that's why I said, as powerful as this stuff is, you know, yeah, you have to have a level of reality, and I don't know what to tell you, because whoever set this up, they might say, hey, you two have a karmic debt together. Say, yeah, but I'm married. My wife don't want me around her. But you have a karmic debt to fulfill with this person. I know, man, and I know a lot of people to be in relationships and they can't, because I've done thousands of natal charts, and it's too hard, because all they do, they be at each other's throat all the time. All they do is argue. Like out here, you got twin flame era. They came out, they were supposed to teach us about twin flames. They made 6 videos and they broke up and never got back together. And I never understood why until now. Like with my twin flame, I realized that my Rosa, I probably hurt her in a past life. And that's why every now and then she would look at me like that little girl, that longing for me. And I didn't understand it. But that little girl that was inside of her was the one I hurt. And that's the one that kept following me around the building and all of that. And then there was another, but she had Rosa had at least 7 different personalities. She was a scary person. So it wasn't supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to be me and her ever hooking up. It was supposed to be her hurting me, destroying my reputation. Because this is the stuff that's the stuff I put ahead of her and other people in a past life. I put career first, reputation first. So now I'm more like spiritual. And even though I'm more in harmony with my true north node, I'm still not really as deep in it as I could be. Because like I said, like me and my sisters never got along. That was kind of like my mother's fault, because my mother divided the family. My father tried to keep us together. My mother divided the family. So all this stuff is metaphysics, and it does really have to do with past life. But you have to get on with your present life too. And that's where it becomes difficult. So my job is always to teach people, but I'm always trying to teach people to use the brain God gave them, because you live in a world that dumbs you down, and all they want, they just want to go by their senses, Oh, I feel, yeah, but it's not always going to be about how you feel. It's going to have to be like a lot of stuff. Just like when you get involved with spirituality, You might feel like God hates you. If you study your Bible, the people he really loved, he put those people through hell. He made them think like he hated them. But those are the ones he really loved, was the ones he beat the crap out of. And you see it in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, Hebrews chapter 12, Jesus at the cross, my God, why have you forsaken me? And that's a horrible thing to say about, you're supposed to be one with God. You're supposed to be the expression of God on earth. And you're going, my God, why did you forsake me? That's crazy. But that's the reality. So that's why this spirituality, it can't just be a love story or what about my career and all that crap, because you can find yourself in a bad place in the afterlife because you should have wanted to know what your life purpose was. You should have known why you're really here. It's not just a love story. So in his medium Coeli, you can see this is where these two are connecting through Capricorn, because they're probably both old souls, and they both have karmic debt together, and they probably can, whether they know it or not, they can communicate through their dreams through Neptune. But he probably also has other contacts with either karmic energy or Venus type of energy. And when you deal with Venus, you're going to deal with Libra and Taurus. And if you notice, that's what we've been talking about a lot. Now, he may have some type of long distance business. Because remember, this is the 9th house. And ironically, that's her ascendant. And remember, I told you her ascendant is some past life stuff. And that probably has to do with him as well. And I told you she's on 2 different time frames. She's on her 1st house Capricorn time frame, but she's also on her 12th house past life Sagittarius time frame. And that's why if you look at his chart, that's where a lot of his activity is, in the Capricorn and the Sagittarius. So that's how you know they got karmic debt together. Not twin flames, but they have soul karmic debt. They're soulmates. Soul karmic debt together. Now, since we are talking about that, so what do you do? Like, what can mine do? Well, like I said, I'm gonna tell you the truth, and this is why I spend so much time talking to the ladies so much, because if you have a good guy and he's dated or whatever, and it always fails, and then you two meet, and you know this guy's been in your dreams, you felt the energy, you know he knows you know, but you're waiting on him to make the move for some reason. Maybe you think, well, I'm a female, he should come up to me. Or maybe you think, like she told me, oh, my man has to do this, and my man has to do that, or otherwise, all that tough guy talking, all that Capricornian crap. All right, but you see the guy's not coming up to you. What are you going to do? You going to let it just go out the door, or are you going to do something? There's a reason why they put Mercury where they put it. Because you could talk too. Maybe he's been hurt too. Just like I said, like a female might be hurt if a guy is aware of that, then he's got to try to find a way to convince her that he's not going to be like the other guys and that he actually does care about her and stuff like that. Because she's not going to make no moves if she's really been hurt that much. Because people are hurt in different ways. Some people get hurt and they go all out. They just start sleeping with everybody. Some people get hurt and they just want to be left alone. They don't want to be hurt by love no more. So if you find yourself in these soulmate type deals and you see the other person is not making that move you think they should make, then it kind of falls on you. Or otherwise you could just walk, coming to work every day feeling a certain way or whatever. But obviously life is going on because you see the person's not really making any significant moves to get to know you or talk to you. So either you can make moves, try whatever you're going to do, or that connection may never happen. But I feel like that soul connection stuff happens all the time. And what I notice in my job is, this is just being on planet Earth. Because I remember so many times, it's like when a guy is single and nobody wants to be with him. As soon as he gets a girlfriend, all these females come out of the woodwork to want to be with him. And even if the ones that walk past him and wanted nothing to do with him. But as soon as he gets one female, they all want to be with him. I can tell you on many dates I was going on. And maybe I'm going to meet this person and I don't really know them that well or what they look like or whatever. I'm just going on this date. and I'll pull up on somebody else and say, are you so and so? And they'll be like, no, but immediately they want to talk to me. Or immediately they'd be like, what are you doing? We can hang out. And like, whoa, how come when I'm single, I don't find women like that? But as soon as I'm going on a date, and this happened like 3 or 4 times in my lifetime. Like, I'll just pull up to somebody like, hey, are you so and so? Or do you know how to? And they'll all of a sudden want to hang out with me. Like, what the hell? I still remember I was in Old Bridge, New Jersey, 7-Eleven. And I said, excuse me, are you so and so? And they were like, no. And as I was walking away, they said, no, but my name is, they just all of a sudden want to hang out. And I'm like, how come this never happens except when I'm going on a date with somebody else? So you can call it Murphy's Law. I think it's just wickedness. I really do. It's just sheer wickedness. And I see it too many times. So again, in this 9th house, career reputation is connected to foreign matters, either foreign people, long distance, might have something to do with travel, but also it's also higher courts possibly, philosophy, religion, some type of classes, like literal classes where you go to study, but it can also be class as in that person has a lot of class. And it could still be teaching, because we kind of ascertained that earlier in the houses that we were studying. But he makes good money there, because Venus and Jupiter are money, and with Venus he probably dresses good, looks good. And we already talked about Taurus, because Taurus is a very magnetic and attractive. Very magnetic and attractive. And then he's got Neptune there. So once again, Neptune will always attempt to take idealism and materialize it through Capricorn. But he won't have the power of Uranus in the 9th house. But his Uranus is in the 8th house. Now again, the 8th house is a lot of mystery. But again, Sagittarius is kind of like a teacher. So once again, he'll not only and also with Uranus being there and the Sun, whenever you see the Sun in the 8th house, or whenever you see the Sun in Scorpio, the Sun is trying to take what's hidden and bring it out to light. So he's got Uranus, and Uranus loves to change the perception. So Uranus comes to shake things up and challenge the perceived perception. And the 8th house is always going to be a house of explosive transformation. And he's going to be a master at that. So if you notice how we said her 9th house was connected to her. Let me do it again. We said her 9th house was created. We said her 11th house was connected to her 8th house. And he's got the same thing going on. Like with the same type of energy, with the Sagittarius energy and the Capricorn energy. Because if you look at his Capricorn and follow that red line, it's going right to where? The 8th house. So they have a similar thing. It's arranged differently, but it's still similar. Because like I said, they have a soul karmic connection. And that's why it's hard to understand. See, what I'm saying to you is, you might meet a person who you have a more intense soul connection to, a more intense soul karmic responsibility or depth with that person, but you guys do not really connect. Now you might meet somebody that you have a lesser soul connection to, but your personalities connect, and you guys are like all hugged up, and like you don't ever want it to end. Like you're like, finally, God, you stopped shitting on me. Finally, God, you gave me something. All these decades I've been waiting. Finally, you stopped this crazy shit you have me on. You just feel like finally your ticket flew in. This has got to be. But if you were to study it astrologically wise, that's not the person you're supposed to have that close. They're just another soul family member. This is the one you're supposed to be all close with. And you got this debt you got to pay. But it's just that your personalities click. And that's what people can't understand. Because when they hear twin flame, they think you got to fall in love with this person. They think that, oh, it's written. It's going to happen. It might not happen, but it's going to happen. But it may not. Just the last day I worked, it was getting close to leaving, and some woman came, and people always come in right when it's time to go home. The store starts to fill up again and all kind of crazy stuff. People want to start asking you all 1,000 different questions, and it's not something you can answer easy. It's always something complex, and you're trying to get the hell out of it. Been there all day, you're ready to go. So one female came in, one woman, and she asked me where something was. I didn't know what she was talking about. I never heard it before. Like, what is that? And but then she said, oh, well, it's right here. So I don't know if she knew where it was and she was just trying to talk to me, or it was just a coincidence. I really don't know. So then I was walking away because I was walking kind of fast, and she was still trying to talk. Because they always want to talk to me when like when I be trying to talk, they be like, they don't want to talk to me. But then when I'm like, when I walk past some women and then they want to talk, it'd be funny. Like the ones I walk past, like no intent on talking to them. Those would be the ones that stop me and try to hold a conversation or something. And then the ones I do want to have a conversation with, they don't want to talk to me and shit. It'd be funny. And this shit happens all the time. So with this woman, I'm trying to get out the door. So once I see she has what she wants, I start walking away. So she's walking behind me and she's still talking to me. But it was something about her. Not that I was attracted to her, but it was something about her that made me still talk to her. But I think also I was in a kind of a good mood anyway. I'm getting ready to go home and I'm just in a good mood. And it's Friday. I don't have to work the weekend. So I'm already in a good mood. So she's still trying to talk to me. And she's saying, you know, I shouldn't have said that. Because, I reveal my age by using that terminology. And I said, so I was trying to make her feel better. So I was like, no, that's not really true. And because she was trying to like she was saying, you probably think I'm real old or something. So I was trying to make her feel better. But remember, I'm not really focusing on this conversation. I'm focusing on punching the fuck out. But I'm trying to make her feel better. So like I'm multitasking in my head. So I'm saying to her, don't feel bad about your age. I'm probably older than you. And she's like, I don't know. I said, well, how old do you think I am? Because I never reveal my age. I'm like, how old do you think I am? And she's like standing. So I stop walking. I go backwards to her, and I tell her how old I am. And then she goes, and then I start walking fast again. And she's like, oh, that's not. She said, that's 5 years. I'm 5 years younger than you, like that, which was kind of cool because most women don't reveal their age. So it was kind of quick. It was kind of cool how we had that conversation. But you might have thought, hey, there's an attraction there, because this guy just revealed some personal information, and so did she. There's an attraction between those two. But if it wasn't what you think, because I wasn't not attracted to her, but I definitely wasn't attracted to her, because I'm trying to get the fuck out the door. But I'm just happy because of Friday and whatever. So that was the chemistry of the moment, the chemistry of the hour, and because of that chemistry, she and I had chemistry. But it wasn't chemistry because I liked her or attracted to her. So this is what I'm trying to tell you. This is how this stuff works. Somebody who would have walked past you on Monday sees you do something on Thursday, and then they're attracted to you. Or it could be some type, because that one female that came in, everything was like, wow, this could be something great. Because every expectation I had of her, she filled. Like she went out of her way to make sure she filled my expectation, which was nice, because a lot of people wouldn't have did that. And we walked to the car together. It was beautiful. Then, like I said, the moon came out of nowhere that day. It was fucking beautiful. But we still didn't connect. Now that doesn't mean she hasn't come back in the store looking for me. Maybe she has, but I'm not always there. But that was something that just felt so right, and I know she could feel it. So what was she? Was she a soulmate or whatever? Or was she just somebody that was at the right moment at the right? I know it was deeper than that because the moon came to verify that. But what she verified was the female that works there, because she said that was her middle name, is that female's name. So that was almost like the universe saying, well, you two, the one we selected for you, you two could be the same way. But like I'm like, I don't know, because it's a big ass gap, and it's not her fault. She's just younger, so she's in a fantasy world. And like I'm like, you ain't gonna be bossing up on me. Like I'm not gonna try to boss up on you, but you definitely ain't bossing up on me. And the last thing I want to hear is some female telling me what her expectation. I could give a fuck less about your expectation, because every time I reach them, all y'all do is play me out. So that ain't happening. No more in this lifetime. It won't be nothing. It might be me meeting somebody and we getting along, and then I go out of my way to make you happy. But there ain't no way in the world as soon as I meet you talking shit, because you ain't talking to the hand because the head ain't listening. Talk to the hand because the heart ain't listening. So why am I telling you all this? Because I'm trying to help people understand how this really works. Because everybody else on YouTube is on some foolishness, and they hate me because I tell them the truth. They'll run to any channel that says, oh, twin flames, oh, Venus in the 7th house, oh, bad. They'll empty their wallet because somebody talks to them like they're 3 years old and tells them a whole bunch of lies. Because that's not how this works. Because if it did work that way, you wouldn't have hundreds of thousands of twin flame videos on YouTube and all these people running like flies that's a pile of shit. So now we are in his 8th house. Ruled by Scorpio. So he will be trying to bring what's in the darkness and the light. He may also be good with sciences or other stuff, because Uranus is there, alternative healing and all that stuff, alternative whatever, medicine or alternative sciences. And he'll also be a great speaker in those areas. So that's another reason why him and her will have connection, because they're both dealing with Scorpio and they both have Mercury connected to Scorpio energy. And then when you go into the relationship, now his relationship is going to be very powerful because of Pluto and Scorpio, very transforming, extremely sexual. But it could have a lot of obsession and stalking. And see, you really don't want to see Saturn with Scorpio. Why? Because Scorpio is already going to be obsessive. So you don't need Saturn, because Saturn could be bossy and pushy too. So that 7th house is going to be very powerful. Very powerful. Because he's got 2 power heads. He's got Pluto in Scorpio, power heads. And then he got Saturn trying to house stuff. So both these people really have to know what's in the 8th house. And then they got to realize that they have to tone it down. Unless they love dealing with obsessions, stalking, doubting, accusations, and all that. So I'm assuming he will definitely have some issues in a relationship sector. All right, so I showed you where his money was at. We did the Venus, we did the Jupiter. So where his money was at. Juno says he'll find himself in a serious relationship with either Libra or Virgo. But now you can look in his Libra and you see Scorpio. And see, that's her true north node. That's why I keep saying these two definitely have a karmic relationship, a soul karmic relationship. His vertex cross says he might find himself in a situation with, again, Libra, Virgo, or Scorpio, because the 7th house is ruled by Libra and Virgo's there, and Scorpio's there. Excuse me. And this gentleman also has some type of Scorpio, Uranus, or Aquarius stuff going on. He may come up with some type of invention or some type of situation that anybody in the Aquarius can use, whether it's the community or even women, because he's got that Mars in Aquarius. But that'll probably get him a lot of money, whatever it is. So that's his vertex, his Juno, and true north node is. He might find himself in a unique or relationship with a Taurus energy or even an Aries energy. So like I said, in my case, I don't see myself trying to, other than saying hello, how she's doing, but I don't see myself, stepping that up. So I don't see myself personally doing anything that would cause me and her to talk more or whatever. So either she would do it or whatever. But sometimes things get ugly because, and that's what a lot of astrologers have been warning me. Cause like let's just say she saw me talking to somebody else or whatever, or if somebody came in the store and me and the woman was talking to her, getting a little too friendly or whatever, she might go into jealousy or some shit. But I don't know. I'm just different. Like I've done all this before, in like before we didn't know it was twin flames or soulmates or all that. But you know, this is nothing new. It's just that now we know why. Like we know why somebody's just like stalking you, or why somebody is connected to you so quick, or whatever. Because it's all this soulmate and stuff. But it's really nothing new. And I think as long as you're on planet Earth, you're gonna have this. So what I'm trying to tell like this person, because she ordered this reading, so I'm really talking to her right now. But people can listen. But sometimes you just have to learn how to. This is a guide for me. I love it. But it's still just guidance. I'm going to make the final decision because I know my life and I know, you know, a lot of stuff, you know. Like I said, I know for a fact my twin from 2014 to 2016, it was never meant for me and her to connect. That was a karmic debt. I heard her in the past life and she heard me. And that's exactly what it was supposed to be. That's exactly what she did. That's why every attempt I did to try to talk to her, she never went for it. And every time it looked like we was gonna get past the hump that we were on, something would come that would not let that happen because it wasn't supposed to happen. And this one, like I said, I kind of get the feeling. This is what I feel, that she, you know, because this is a soul karmic debt. So I kind of think it was something she may have done, you know, and now it's kind of like on her to man up, and she has to. So I kind of enjoy watching her because she's not weak, she's strong, but she just has her own way of looking at everything. But watching her is beautiful. I mean, like I said, I really like her a lot, and had she stepped it up back then, I would have melted. But she didn't step it up, and then my heart just started protecting itself, just started locking it. It was getting harder and harder, and she's still trying to find a way in. But now I'm more mature. That's why you hear me say I don't give a fuck. And I've heard other people that talk about the twin flame journey. They tell you that, like, it'll get to the point that you really won't care whether the person talks to you or not. Like, you just won't care. But then it gets stronger because now you're not getting hurt and acting all stupid and running away. Because right now, this Venus retrograde in Scorpio is all about facing your fears. See, on my other channel, I'm way more hard-hitting with this stuff. But I talk about all of this. So you almost, like, you like the person and you hope you two get past it. But if you don't, you honestly don't care. Because a lot of this stuff is really painful and it never goes anywhere. Whereas, like I said, that female that came in that store that I really bonded with, I went further with her in those few minutes that we were together than I've gone with a lot of people. Because it was really beautiful. Like, if you were watching that shit, it was just cool. Because if I was staring at her, everything I did to stare at her, she kind of made sure that she gave me a reason to stare. And then if I turned my head, she would start looking at me and shit. But I could see her out the corner of my eye. It was so fucking romantic and shit. And then I walk her to the car and have a nice conversation with her. And then I had the moon come out of nowhere in broad daylight with those two pillar of clouds that it was above. And the whole sky was lit up with the moon over the east, over the Atlantic Ocean, with those two pillar of clouds that it was above. And right across it was the sun. Like, so fucking twin flame-ish. So fucking beautiful and shit. And I was just bugging out to speak, like, because we have communications that we speak to. And I called out this other guy because he has a name. He has a moon in his name. So I called him outside and I was talking to the customer. It was so beautiful. And that day I started off singing Surrender. Because Spirit told me to listen to some Cheap Trick. And I didn't do it because I was busy. So when I went to work that morning, Cheap Trick came on the radio, Surrender. So I was singing that song and shit. So I started out my day, and that whole day I was talking to customers in the store, which I don't talk like that. This one woman was having some horrible situation with the father of her children. He's trying to destroy her. So I was giving her advice on how to defeat him. And she was listening because she was intuitive too. We just happened to start talking and shit. And that woman came out of nowhere. And I was just talking to her. And then the friend of my soulmate was watching me talk to her. Because she was like, why is he talking to her so much? Because he doesn't talk to nobody and shit. But he's really talking to this woman and shit. So it was one of those days. And then then right after that happened with her, that's when I met the other female. The one I said that we had a great relationship with. So I believe in stuff like that more than anything because I've seen it throughout my life. Because you can hope and wish that things are going to happen with your quote twin flame or your soulmate, but it may not happen. You gotta listen to your heart, man. Like really, I know I sound like 1979ish, but you gotta listen to your heart. Once you stop listening to your heart, you listen to all this other crap. You're just gonna have a broken heart. You gotta go back to the old days. Like I love astrology and it teaches me and I learn from it. But at the end of the day, I just use it as a guidance. But at the end, who's ever coming into my life that's gonna be something special, it's coming through the heart. It's not coming through no nothing else. It's not coming through a house. It's not coming through a sign. It's coming through my heart because they can't be without me and I can't be without them. And that sounds so fucking cheesy, but I've seen it happen so many times in my life, and I know that's the real deal. So this is Get. I'm out. God bless. Remember, I got a whole lot of sales going on this channel. This will be Archangel Revelations and Prophecy 444. Make sure you're in tune with it. I think I had like a 3-day sale. I'm supposed to be. I think that's just about over. So try to get that because I know that's supposed to be just about over. And whatever else. And you can always ask for the services offered. Priceless as well. For people that want to get started, all you need is your day of birth, month, day, year. Make sure you write it out so that it's not no misunderstanding. If you don't have your time of birth, the archangels will give it to us. City, state, and if not the USA, then write what country. And you need your gender, and they have to choose either male or female. And the link to get started, PayPal link is right in the description box, and we get started as soon as we get that information. Okay, this is Get, and we do send confirmation as soon as we get it. This is Get. God bless.